Lula, is the president of Brazil now. He got Glenn Greenwald successfully got him out of prison, or helped get him out of prison, and revealed the corruption around his prosecution. And so he had a press conference with the Prime Minister of Germany, and Lula started saying some shit. He wouldn't go along, right? He's not going along with the NATO thing of hey, Putin invaded unprovoked, and he's the bad guy, and the war can end as Putin leaves. He's not doing that.
Have those bastards from BRICS gotten him?
So what he said is pretty. He's seen as a big leftist leader internationally, and so here is what he had to say. It's kind of and tell me who I thought he was doing an impression of Zelensky at first.
A minha sugestão é que a gente.
I thought he was doing an impression of Zelensky.
Two of them should sit down.
They should sit down. And no, yeah.
Oh my God, I would have to clear my throat 10 times watching them talk.
So let me just read it to you. Turn him down.
Let's meet in a humidor. And
he says, my suggestion is that we form a group of countries that will sit at a table. With Ukraine and Russia and try to find peace, to try to stop the war. Brazil will make an effort. I already spoke with Macron. I spoke with Schultz. I will speak with other presidents, the United States, with President Biden. I will speak with then I will find other presidents to talk to about the idea of creating a group of people, institutional, multilateral, G20, G10, G15.
Did we give Boris Johnson the wrong address? So
to sit down and find peace, because the world needs peace. So it can't be possible that in the 21st century that we are seeing a war that we don't even know why it exists. Some of us say it's because of NATO. Some say it's because of the entry to the European Union. Some say it's about the territory that Russia occupies. So what he's doing here is a big deal. He's challenging the narrative about how Ukraine war started. And he's saying, we don't know. But what he's saying, it doesn't matter. We got to negotiate a peace deal to get out of this. That's what he's saying. There needs to be someone at the negotiating table. And I think that our Chinese friends have an important role to play. If I go to China in March as planned, that is an issue I want to talk about with President Xi Jinping. It's time for China to get involved and to try to help find peace between Russia and Ukraine. That's a big thing that he just did there. And he pissed off. So here he is. Brazil Lula snubs Olaf Scholz with Ukraine war remark. He snubbed him. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz and Brazil's freshly inaugurated President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva traded barbs late Monday on who's responsible for Russia's invasion in Ukraine, as the latter suggested that Kiev could also be at fault. So Lula's saying it could be Ukraine's fault. Scholz arrived to the capital Brasilia late Monday as part of a South American trip aimed at advancing a long-delayed EU-Mercosur trade and political cooperation deal, and to rally countries of the global South behind the West's support for Ukraine. Yet on Ukraine, Scholz received a brutal rebuff.
That's brutal to these people to say the thing that... Oh my God.
And by the way, Mercosur, that's the Spanish abbreviation for... It's a South American trade bloc established in 1991. Its full members are Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, and Uruguay. Venezuela is a full member, but has been suspended since December 2016. Associate countries are Bolivia, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, Guyana, Peru, and another one. Following the amicable start to a joint press conference in which the Brazilian president said that he wants to finalize the EU trade deal by the end of the current semester, the mood turned sour after Lula raised the war in Ukraine and rejected Germany's appeal to support Kiev with weapons and ammunition.
Yeah, that's what I do at the airport when they ask if I want to support Ukraine with my change.
Yeah. You say no?
I mean, I wish there was a live cashier that I could say it to, but there isn't. You have to just press no.
If one doesn't want to, two can't fight, Lula told reporters, implying Ukraine has well had a role in Russia's invasion.
Implying.
I think the reason for the war between Russia and Ukraine also needs to be clear. It's because of NATO? Is it because of territorial claims? Is it because of entry into Europe? The world has little information about that. While he said that Russia's committed a classic mistake by invading Ukraine's territory, he also argued that neither side was showing sufficient willingness to resolve the war via negotiation. No one wants to back down a millimeter, he said. Lula criticized mediation efforts to date. Until now, I sincerely haven't heard very much about how to reach peace in this war. He instead proposed to establish a peace-orientated club of non-aligned countries like China, Brazil, India, Indonesia, which he said have thus far not been involved in the discussions on the war. He also rejected the possibility that Brazil could help Ukraine fend off Russian missiles or drone attacks by selling its units of German-made Gepard air defense tanks along with corresponding ammunition. Brazil has no interest in handing over munitions that can be used in the war between Ukraine and Russia. We're a country committed to peace, Lula said. Schultz retorted by arguing that Brazil's past may have been much less peaceful if its Southern American neighbors were applying a similar imperialistic logic as Putin is.
What about its Northern American neighbors?
It's unbelievable.
They didn't even get a chance to because they're busy. Oh, my God.
I know. What kind of territorial conflicts would all be possible if everybody simply leafed through their history books like the Russian president and looked at where a border used to be? If you make that the yardstick, then we won't have peace in the world.
What?
I don't know.
The hell is he talking about?
I don't know. It doesn't. They're just trying to justify war, Schultz.
And looked at where a border. If everyone leafed through their history books.
So he's trying to say that Russia just decided to invade. That's what he's saying, because they wanted to go back to the old borders. That he's just saying they just decided to, just out of nowhere. That's what he's trying to say. But Lula's right. Lula's on this. Hey, you guys got to get to peace, and I'm not going to help you bomb anybody. That's great. Hey, everybody, we're doing live stand-up comedy. We're going to Tempe, Palm Springs, Milwaukee, Nashville, Northampton, Massachusetts, Syracuse, New York, Cohost, New York, Hartford, Connecticut, and Washington, D.C. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for all those tickets.